Hey folks, this is Vincent Idley with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to try Steampunk Rally. This is a game that it supports 2 to 8 players. It's for ages 14 and up, and the average playtime is about 60 minutes. I have to confess, I've had this game in my library for over a year, and I've never played it. This is our first time playing, so we may make some rules goofs, but I've read the directions, and it kind of stinks that I haven't played it up to this point, because this is kind of one of my favorite styles of games. It's an engine builder. Basically, it's a steampunk racing game. We're going to be taking our starter invention. I'm Thomas Edison, and you're what, Ada Lovelace, is it? And there's like 10 to 15 other inventors that are in the box. So you've got a wide variety of people that you can start with. But you start off with this really basic invention, and you're going to be building your race vehicle throughout the game. You're going to be generating dice, you're going to be rolling dice, and then using said dice in your machine to perform various effects. In most cases, you're going to be gaining movement points to move around the board. You're going to be earning armor, or I guess durability. You've got this damage wheel, and certain spaces on the board make you take damage. So you're going to want to beef up on your armor, whatever it is, so that when you do take that damage, you don't fall into the negatives. Being in the negatives at the end of the damage phase, or the beginning of the damage phase, is bad, because that makes you lose parts to your invention. So if you have a nice little engine builder thing going, and you have a lot of damage, you're going to lose a lot of those cards. That's bad. So, as far as how the game is played, the game is played over a series of rounds, and here's the back of the rulebook so you can see what that looks like. The round starts with a draft phase. Each player gets 4 cards to form their starting hand. There are 4 types of cards. 3 of them are parts that you would add to your machine. The other one is like a special card that you would use as like a special action whenever it says so. Like this Tesla coil, for example. If I can get it, there we go. It just says, playable during the event phase only. And then you would follow that effect if you wanted to play it. So one of these cards, this deck here is a special ability card kind of deck. These are parts that you would add to your machine. Okay? So we're each going to get 4 cards, 1 from each of the decks here, so we each get 1 card of each. We're going to choose 1 card, play it, and then pass our cards to the next player. We're going to choose from those, play a card, pass them, choose from those, and so on until we're out of cards. So it's a back and forth kind of thing, like Sushi Go, Among the Stars, which is like a sci-fi space station builder kind of game. So anyone that's played drafting games before will be familiar with that aspect of it. If you decide not to play a card, let's say that you pick a card that you don't want to play for whatever reason, there are little symbols in the top right corner here. There's like blue dice and gears, or they're called cogs. You would choose one of those to get. So if I decided, like if I drafted this and I wanted it, but then I'm like, no, you know what, I'm not going to build it. I'm just going to discard it to the discard pile, and I'm going to earn the effect of the top right. So I either choose 2 blue dice or 2 cogs. So that's one way to generate resources in this game, is to discard during the draft phase. After the draft phase is over, you can spend any cogs that you might have to subtract 2 pips per cog from dice that might be in your machine. I didn't get to that point yet, but essentially you're going to be, again, earning dice, putting them into your machine to do special things or to do actions. But once you put a die there for that round, it stays there. But it is not used for, well, basically the rest of the game until you get rid of it. So these dice will represent one-time use for that round, and then you have to try and get rid of them. They'll clog up your machine until you spend cogs to get rid of them. There are other cogs that let you discard dice too. So some card abilities might let you discard dice without the need for cogs. Those are cards that we may want to draft during the drafting phase. So, vent phase, after that you've got the race phase. We're going to be rolling dice that are in our pool, and then we're going to be adding them to our machine here. You can also spend this light bulb token, flip it over, and any cards that have a light bulb in the upper right hand corner will be activated once, and you can choose the order in which they activate. Lastly, the damage phase, that is where you would take a look at your little dial and see if you're in the negative. If you're in the negative, like I said, you're going to lose that many cards. So if I had -2 on my dial here, then I would lose 2 cards on my machine and then reset myself back to 0. If you have a +3 green during the race phase and you get more than 3, you'll see a little cog symbol. That means you get a cog and then you go back to 3 again. So you cannot have more than 3 armor. And anytime you get more than 3 armor, you would just simply get a cog instead. Okay? At the end of the round, this light bulb goes back to the positive side, the colored side, and there's some other effects that take place. You also discard any dice that you did not place during the race phase, when you rolled them and were trying to place them to activate these cards. You cannot place dice if you cannot activate the card. This, for example, has 4 yellow spaces. So I would need to put yellow dice here, and in order for me to activate this ability, I need to roll at least a 3, or have a combination of dice that add up to 3. If I rolled more than 3, like let's say I rolled a combination of dice that were, say, 6, I can divide that by 3 and activate this ability twice, and this is a movement ability. So if I had, say, a 2 and a 4 here, I would add those up, that's a 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. I would activate this ability twice and move twice. Okay? And again, these dice would stay there until I spend cogs on a future round to, well, during the vent phase to get rid of them. Or if I had another card that let me remove dice, I can do that too. So these, yeah, there's different cards with different abilities. This one here, again, this is a light bulb symbol, so as you spend your light bulb, you would get this. This is basically gain a yellow die. This one is, these are all cards, and this is the discard pile, so we're never using these cards, unless there's duplicates of them in the deck. This uses red dice. If the total is 4 or more, like if I get 12 here, for example, I can take 12 divided by 4, and that's 3. I can activate this 3 times. This says move twice and take a damage. Okay, so I can move farther with this, but I also take damage on my wheel, so that could actually be bad for me, especially if I activate this 3 times. I would be able to move 6 spaces, but I'd also take 3 damage in the process. I better have a lot of armor saved up for that ability if I decide to use it.
And you gain damage through terrain.
That's, yeah, I didn't get there, but that's a good point. No, you're fine, no, that's good. Thanks for reminding me. There are spaces on the board, little mountain spaces with numbers on them. As you pass them, you have to take damage. So we're going to be needing to earn armor as we go to prevent damage as we pass these spaces. Not just by landing on them, just passing them. That's enough to take that damage. There is something called smooth motion. There's 2 types of motion. Regular motion, you take damage as you pass these spaces, but smooth motion, it's a gold wheel instead of the silver one. If you are able to take smooth motion, you ignore terrain. So if I were to use smooth motion to pass these 2 spaces, this is a 1 mountain, this is a 3 mountain. If I went from here to here, I would, as smooth motion, I would ignore the 4 damage. Okay? What else? I think, oh yeah, there's some spaces on the board, like this blue with an infinity symbol and a -1 cog. If a player lands here, they can spend cogs that they have to get that many blue dice. Same thing with yellow over here or red over here. And basically the game ends when someone crosses the finish line. Players finish that round, and whoever's furthest beyond that will, whoever's the farthest past the finish line will win. If you explode, meaning that if you're forced to discard parts of your machine, and one of them is your cockpit, like command center area thing, If you lose that, all of your invention is blown up, all of your cards are discarded. You keep your pilot, though, and that's it. That's all you get. And you have to take your guy and move him behind the person in last place. Okay? And there's probably some other things that I didn't get to, but that's the gist of it. And again, this is our first time playing, so there may be some rules goofs as we go, but hopefully this will give you a taste as to what you're in for should you decide to pick this up for yourself. If you want to take a look at the box, there's plenty of baggies that the game came with. It supports up to, what, 8 players, did I say?
Yes.
So that's, it's pretty amazing, actually. The game has plenty of dice in here that I'm not using. There's a lot of these wheels. Again, there's Thomas Edison, Ada Lovelace. There's at least, I want to say at least 10 other inventors in here that you can pick, and they've all got a matching other card. So in addition to their cockpit, they've got this other colored card that goes along with them. So there's 2 blue, there's 2 pink, there's 2 purple, there's 2 blue, 2 green, whatever. And you would start off with that matching colored card. So one is for, usually one generates you dice and the other one lets you move, basically, until you start generating more cards, or more, until you start drafting and start adding more stuff. Also, these little valves, whenever you're placing cards, you have to play them so that these valves connect, at least one. So if you have a situation, I know it's kind of hard to see from all the way zoomed out. If I can find an instance where there's multiple, that would be awesome. I don't see... you don't have to connect valves from... you don't have to completely connect the valves. So as long... every valve doesn't have to have a connection. You can have half a valve and then just a regular flat side of a card bordering it. So as long as you can trace a path back to your cockpit in some way. Your entire machine has to be traceable back to your cockpit. So you may have instances where not all valves connect, but you're able to draw a path with connecting valves back to your cockpit. And it'll maybe we'll come across an example as we play.
Well, wouldn't this be an example? This has multiple valves.
Yeah, so I guess we could do something like that. And if I put, say... let's say I had this here, well, this is bad, but let's say through the rest of the machine, let's say I had a way to connect this. There's a valve here, there is not a valve here.
Oh, as long as you have a path.
So as long as I've got a path leading back to my pilot in some way, this would be legal.
Okay, I see.
Even though this is half a valve and this is flat card, and it's not connecting, so as long as this valve connects back to my pilot.
Yeah.
That would be legal.
Okay.
And I forgot which deck belongs to which here. Okay, that goes here.
The blue one just...
Yep, okay. So let's give it a try. We may not be able to film the entire game because this is a 60-minute game supposedly, but we'll do the first couple of rounds and come back to you later on. Okay, so...
You can start.
Oh, you want me to, well, it's even. So we each take 4...
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 from each deck. And when we're discarding cards, we always discard to the appropriate colored discard pile. So here's a look at what I have. And I'm going to be choosing one of these to either play to add to my machine, or I'm going to discard it for... That's another thing I didn't mention. At least I don't think I did. In addition to, you can either play a card to add to your machine, or you can discard it for the resources up here. I think I did say that. So I'm going for yellow right now. I have a machine that uses only yellow dice. Maybe I might want to try and find a card that adds other colors, or I might want to, like this one here, lets me convert, if I put a yellow here, I can take that value, divide it by 3, and then I can get a red die and an armor. So I can start generating red dice with this card, this Galvanic Brakes, if I want to. That's just for blue dice, which I don't need, but I may want to stop her from getting. Again, I can discard cards if I don't want to get stuff. So I can see what she's doing with her machine and make sure that she doesn't get them by discarding them for resources. But then I may not be able to get what I want. you know. So let's start with, oh boy.
This is tough.
It is. I don't have anything that generates armor right now, so I may choose this one that I was talking about. And whenever you're done picking,
I'm gonna choose this one, but I do have a question.
Go for it. This is our first time. Go for it.
What does that star mean?
That means 1 die of any value.
Okay.
It could be a 1, it could be a 5, it could be whatever.
Okay, whatever. Oh,
yeah. So now we reveal,
Okay.
and simultaneously there are no turns in this game. You would simply at the same time resolve these. So I'm gonna put. And at any time, you can also move your machine around to fit everything together. So if, let's say that I got this card, and let's say this was my starting machine, and I drafted this card and I wanted to build it, but it only connects up here. This does not work. So I could move this here, which connects, and I can also just put this here, now this connects. It's kind of hard to see because the camera is zoomed out, but you can move your machine around as you want to get cards to fit. But anyway, back to this. I'm going to go ahead and put this here. And now I pass these cards to you.
Thank you, sir.
And now I will choose from these. This is what she had. All of these use red dice in some way, which I just started earning red dice. So this lets me travel 2 spaces and earn a damage. I don't know if I want to do that yet. I can start earning blue dice with this boiler. Actually, no. Yeah, that's blue dice. It's steam. So I can start using yellow dice to generate red dice. Red dice placed to earn blue dice. So I can become a power converting master here. But the question is, am I going to want to? She's still using blue. So she may not need this with what she's doing. It's hard to tell right now. See, you have a card that puts yellow dice. So you need to find a way to get yellow dice. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you discard cards to get yellow dice. That's another way of getting the yellow dice that you need. Repair clause. Remove all dice with 3 or fewer pips that currently occupy slots on your invention. Ignore dice in storage. You may vent dice before resolving this effect. Playable during the vent phase only. This is a great way of getting rid of dice quickly, but I'd have to give up some of these other cards to do it. You know what? I think I'm gonna take the repair clause, give myself an out at some point, just in case I need to get rid of dice. And then you can put your card down whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna discard it to gain 2. Can I gain?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this is a pink, or this, yeah, bronze, whatever. So you're gonna either gain 2 yellow or 2 cogs.
2 yellow?
2 yellow. Okay. So
I can't gain a yellow and a cog, right?
No, you have to be one or the other.
I think.
The slash, yeah.
Okay.
So
what do I do?
You keep them in your dice pool until the race phase. That's when you roll them.
For these slots?
What do you mean?
Like you roll them into these slots?
Yes.
Okay. What if you have 1 extra dice?
Any unused dice go back into the pool at the end. So you'd be wasting 1. So do you want to take that back? Or do you want to just keep what you've got? Or you can take 2 cogs.
You know what? What does the cog do again?
The cogs are twofold. Cogs are used to vent.
Are they? Can you have an infinite amount of cogs?
Yes, infinite amount of cogs.
Okay, I see.
So if you can keep 2 dice, but you only have 1 slot.
I know.
So you don't have any storage slots. So you'd have to, when you roll those dice, you'd be spending 1 there. The other one would be discarded at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
So you can either do that, or you can take 2 cogs, or you can, if you want to choose a different card, go ahead. That's, again, learner game. We can do what we want.
Nah, I think I'll keep it.
You'll keep it? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
YOLO.
YOLO. And I think these go to you?
Yep.
Okay. So I've got these 2 to work with. If I had blue dice, I could put it here and convert that into red dice and a cog, the superheater. But I have no dice right. Like, I'm not generating blue dice at the moment. So this wouldn't really help me. Or this other card, this is like a special card I can play and store. I can remove a blue die, and this is a movement, a golden movement, meaning that it's a smooth movement, I can move through terrain. Also receive damage for every 5 machine parts in your invention. Ooh. So if this is good for a light invention, but if it's a heavy invention, I'll receive damage. You know what? I'm going to... See, I'm... Wait. I'm going to discard... Actually, I'm going to discard this one, the super here. And I'm going to take 2 cogs. 1, 2. And then you get to do whatever.
What was yours?
My card that I discarded?
No, what's that one do?
This one?
Yeah.
I take a yellow die, divide it by 3, the value, and then I get a red die and an armor.
Okay.
So I can generate red dice and armor with that card using my yellow dice, which I have 2 here.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm gonna discard. I'm playing defensively.
That's fine. You're gonna discard. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna gain 2 cogs if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead and gain 2 cogs. 1, 2. Nope.
I don't want to give you that one because you have a lot of yellow.
Well, oh, I see what you're saying. This is the rocket booster one?
Yeah.
Okay, I can convert yellow into red and then use this to move a lot, but I also take damage by doing it.
Well, I mean, like, if you if I gave it to you and you discarded it, you'd gain yellow.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, it makes sense. And then this goes to you, and I have to choose whether or not to play it or to keep it. This is that boiler. Do I want to take the red dice that I'm earning and put them to use somewhere by getting blue dice? But see, I can't spend blue dice right now. I have nowhere in my contraption can I spend blue dice. I would earn them, but I wouldn't be able to use them for anything. So I might as well just discard this for more cogs. So I'm going to go ahead and take the boiler, get rid of it, and take 2 more cogs. And again, these are necessary so that you can vent during the vent phase. For the first round of the game, the vent phase is skipped because there are no dice to vent at this point in time.
Can I discard this?
Yeah.
To gain a blue die?
Yeah, go ahead. Alright. And that is that here, jump jets. Okay. So now we move on to the vent phase, but again, skipped for the first round of the game because there's no dice to vent. Normally we would spend a cog. For every cog you spend, you reduce 2 pips off 1 die. Or you can split them. 1 die loses a pip and another die loses a pip. So if you have like a 6 and a 1, 1 would go down to 5, 1 would be removed and put back into the discard pile, or into the pool. Okay? Race. This is where we take our dice. Now you can also, at any point during the race phase, you can flip your light bulb token over to generate. I have to do that because I have no dice to roll. So I get 2 yellow dice from this one here. So I'm going to take 2 yellow, and you're going to do the same thing, and you would get either a blue and a cog or 3 cogs.
I'll do a blue and a cog.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
We need some more cogs. Alright, and then we roll dice, and then we can hit them, whatever. Okay, so I got a 5 and a 4.
Nice. You do yours first.
Well, supposedly we're supposed to do them simultaneously. I can do... Does it matter? I mean, I'd like to get some armor. Alright, so I'm going to put a 4 here and a 5 here. It doesn't... Well, yeah. So... Now I activate these. I'm going to do that while she's planning hers. My 4 divided by 3 is 1, so I activate this 1 time. I get a red die, which I can't place right now. And I also get 1 armor. So right now I'm just using this card to get armor. So I go from 0 to 1 on my dial. And this 5 divided by 3 is 1, and that's 1 movement wheel, normal. So I would go 1 space forward. And that's basically it. And these dice stay here. Now you...
I have a question.
Yes.
Do I choose a die first and then roll it, or do I roll both die and then choose which one I put on? Correct.
You have to roll.
Well, do I roll all 2 or do I roll 1 yellow? Because this only has space for 1 yellow.
You roll all of your dice.
Even the 2 yellow
Correct.
that I have?
Yeah. You roll, all your dice get rolled, and then you choose from there which ones you want to place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, dang, that's OP. Right?
Well, yeah, it's fine. Go ahead. I mean, at the beginning of the round or whatever, you roll all of your dice in your pool, and then you choose what you want.
I would think
well, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
This is a 6.
Yeah.
That's going to be harder to remove than the 1.
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Well,
you won't.
What did I get? 6 shield?
No. You activate that ability 1 time.
Oh.
So you want that number to be as low as possible.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you're going to have to spend 3 cogs to vent that 6.
Yeah, okay.
Or you only spend 1 cog to...
Yeah, I'm thinking it's divisible by 1 because of the
No. That star simply means... I read it somewhere. I don't remember where I saw it, but the ones with a star on it... is it in here, maybe? Yeah, the ones with the star on it is a 1-time activation. You put any die there to activate that once.
Oh. Oh, okay, so I thought it was like the amount of times. Like if I put a 6, the star is just like a...
A machine part featuring a star icon allows you to perform its race effect only 1 time with an activation power of 1 or more.
Okay.
So you want to put a 1 or 2 on that to get rid of those.
Yeah, I see.
Quickly.
Okay, so I'll do that. Put a 1 there.
So you get either movement or an armor.
A shield.
Yeah, whatever. Shield, armor.
Yeah, no, I meant like I'm getting an armor. So
okay. And then you've got blue dice there, so that's 5 divided by 3 is 1.
Okay.
So you would move 1 space.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's all of our dice, right? I can't place this. You can't place your other yellow one. Now we move on to damage. There's no damage. We're both positive 1, so there's nothing to worry about there. End of round, we flip these tokens back over to the positive side. Return unused dice to the supply, which, there's that. And that's it. And now we move on to the draft phase again. We each get 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you also get 4, 1 of each. Cogs do carry over from round to round. But now this has clogged up our machine, and now we've got to spend cogs during the vent phase to try and get rid of them, because they no longer add to our totals for future rounds. These are basically used up things that we need to get rid of. So now I got to look at my cards and figure out, okay, which of these do I want to add, if any. This one uses blue dice, so she may want that. This one uses a red, any value, and I can generate a cog and a yellow. So I can make red, but then convert it back to yellow and get a cog in the process. I can take my red dice and get more red dice if I want to, for whatever reason. Repair clause, I already have something like that. So out of everything here, if I were to play anything, it would be this one, because right now I have red dice that I'm generating, but I'm not using. So I could use that red die to any value, red die, put it here. I can get a yellow die back, and then start generating the gear, this gear or the cogs. So I may keep this one. So I'm going to go ahead and play the thermocouple here. And you're going to put that one there. Okay? And what does that one do? It's your penny farthing, is it?
I don't know what it does. Here you go.
Okay, this one is blue dice, 1 to activate any value. You move and get a yellow die. So you can convert blue dice into a yellow die and get a movement movement in the process.
Sure.
And then here's your 3.
Thank you.
And then this is what she has. I've seen that one already.
It's basically the same ones.
Yeah, almost. Blue. See, I can't convert blue. Well, I don't have any blue dice, period. I can generate more red dice, but I don't think I need that right now. Alright, blue dice, okay, I kind of like that, but I also want to start earning other things. You know, I'm going to take, what would she want? I think she'd want this, because she's generating blue. She'd be getting a lot of cogs. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this one for cogs. So this one goes here, and I get 2 cogs. I'm going to go ahead and start trading these in. Get one and change. I see you're hard at work over there thinking.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. And normally we would wait and reveal them at the same time. Like if you're going to play this game right, we're supposed to play them face down and then both reveal them and then do our thing. Oops, I'm adding them to the wrong thing. I'm giving myself 3 cogs. That's not what I want to do.
I'm going to discard this.
I think I had, yeah. Firebox?
Yeah,
okay.
To gain 2 blues.
Okay, 2 blues.
I've got the blue.
That was so good.
Alright, so I've got these. Again, I'm not doing anything with blue dice. I can keep the repair clause. I might do that. I'm gonna be a repairing machine. I'm gonna keep that and just give this to her whenever she's done. So I'll just put that there.
I'm gonna discard this for 2 more blue.
Okay. Another firebox. I'm gonna have to shuffle these cards a little better. And
I can do them.
you're fine. So you gave me this one, and that's yours. Okay, so yeah, jump jets. I'm gonna keep it, just to have it. And I'm gonna go ahead and give these a nice little shuffle, because we're getting a lot of the same cards.
I'm gonna discard this for 2 cogs.
Okay. Penny farthing. Okay, so I think that's the end of that. Now we can vent. So now we would spend cogs, 2 pips per cog, to start reducing the values on our dice. So, for example, I could spend 2 to reduce 4 to a 0, and that gets rid of that. So I'm going to spend 2 cogs to do that. And here's a 5. I'm going to spend a cog to reduce this to a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got more space here, so I'm not going to worry about getting rid of all of it right now. I got 3 cogs left. It's up to you. How do you want to...
I'm going to spend a cog to remove this yellow dice.
Okay, and you've got 1 left over.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to spend...
Well, you've got 1 pip left over still.
What do you mean?
You only spent 1 of your 2 pips getting rid of this 1, right?
Yeah.
So that's 1. So now you would remove a pip from one of these 2.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You
so
split your pips if you only
right.
do 1 at a time.
Okay. I thought it had to be like a certain color or something.
No.
Okay, so 1. And then another pip, another cog to spend 2 pips.
Okay.
So this would be a 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then another cog to get rid of these.
Yeah, that's fine. So now you're diceless.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so now that the vent phase is over, race. This is where I'm going to generate more dice by flipping that over. I'm going to get 2 yellow there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, huh? Actually, yeah.
Did I do this in the wrong order?
What do you mean?
I was hoping I could spend dice first, like... Let me check real quick. Because I want to convert red dice and then roll those if I can. And the dog is moaning. I understand, dog. Trust me, it's real.
You want to convert that yellow to red?
I want to convert yellow to red, and then I want to roll a red dice so I can place it.
Don't you have to wait until the race?
I don't know. Well, we are on the race phase.
Oh, yeah, okay.
At the start of the race phase, roll all dice in your dice pool as well as any dice stored in any storage slot. So what happens if you convert a die? Do you then roll those new ones? Yeah, so what happens when you convert a die? Do you then roll that?
I don't know.
That's what I mean. So let me take a look at the rulebook, and then I'll get right back to you guys. Okay, sorry about that. So after some checking, actually you go online to look. Dice that are gained via conversion are immediately rolled. So I can roll these two now. I can convert one of them into a red die, and then I can roll that red die to place into my machine. That's a relief. That would have stunk. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and roll these two. Did you get your... I
did. I got my blue and my cog.
Okay, cool. 4 and 1. So I can place this 4 here, right? And convert, I can activate this one time. I get a red die and an armor. So here's my red die. I'm going to go ahead and roll that to 2. And I also get my armor. And I'm up to +2. This red can go here. Mm-hmm. Any value, it's a star. I get a cog and a yellow die.
Nice.
So I'm now just sort of flip-flopping my colors around. I roll that. 3. So now I've got a 4, which I'm going to put the 3 here. I'm going to just discard the 1 at the end of my turn, and I can move 1 time. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I would move, 1 time. So I'm up to that space. So how did you...
Well, what did those values add up?
No. This die was used in a previous round. It sits here until I get rid of it.
Okay.
It does not... This is from the new round. This is from a previous round. So we have to just basically ignore this until this just takes up space until I can get rid of it.
I see. Okay.
So now you...
So would it have mattered if you did all that chaining if you actually chose to put that 4 in there, right?
Well, I wanted to get I got an armor and a free cog out of it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
So even though I converted dice and moved them around, I got an armor and a cog.
And you chose not to put that 1 anywhere?
Correct. Yeah, because I couldn't activate it if I wanted to.
Oh, I see.
The 1 is not high enough. It's not high enough.
Oh, okay, I see.
So this one's going to get discarded at the end of the round.
So, okay, so I thought you had to use all your die that you rolled.
No.
So you don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, cool.
And in some cases you may not be able to.
Okay.
So you have 5 dice?
Yeah.
How'd you get 5?
I discarded a card for 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I got my blue one, and then I think I discarded
2. You must have discarded 2 cards or something for a lot of blue dice. Okay.
Yeah, this is the only card I put down for this round.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright, so you got 1, 2, 3, 5, 5.
Alright, so I will put, what does this mean? Does this mean I get 2 yellow dice if I put 2?
You can, it says to be, well, you can activate a card multiple times in one round. So you can put a die on it, activate it, and then you would take the effect, which is movement and a yellow die.
Yeah.
So you would get a yellow die and a movement. And now because it's a star, I don't know if it's going to let you do it again, but it should. I think, from, again, what I was reading, it says, perform its race effect only 1 time with an activation power of 1 or more. But it also says that you can do race effects multiple times. So I think you could put another die on that of another value, activate it 1 time, and resolve that effect again. So if you want to put another die on there...
I don't understand, but doesn't the star mean that you can only do it once per round?
For that die. I don't know if it's once per round or to be activated once. I think to be if it were once per round, then no, you wouldn't be able to put another die there to activate it again. But I think it's to be activated once simply means no matter what value you put here, you're not going to activate it 3, 4, or 5 times with that single die.
I see.
But you've activated it once, that's good. But now you've got a separate die to where you can activate it again. You've got another spot here. If you wanted to, you don't have to. Do you need 2 yellow dice for something?
No, not really.
Okay, unless you just want to take it for movement.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're going to roll your yellow one. It's a 5. So that 5 you can put there if you want, and you get a shield or a movement. Okay, so you're going to take your shield.
Yep.
And the remaining dice.
I'll get 1 movement.
Okay.
For that, right?
Yeah.
And
you'd add up the values. That's 8.
Oh, this is gonna be so much.
That's 13, 15. So that's 5 spaces.
Hold on, wait. Let me see if I actually want.
That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would take 3 damage. And you only have an armor of 2. So you would end up losing a card.
Yeah, no.
So you may want to not move that many. It's up to you on how many you want to move.
All this hair. Where is it coming from?
I don't know.
All right. I want to see if I can. If I gain this and it adds to my dice pool, that means I have to roll it immediately and get rid of it at the end.
I believe so. Yeah, because all dice are removed at the end of the... Yeah, so you would have to use them then.
Alright. Okay, fine. 8. What's 8 get me? Does that move me up?
That would be 2 points. That would be 2 movement. So you would move here.
No. What about this one? 10.
That's 10. So
3.
10 divided by... That's 3 spaces. Yep, so you would land on the 2 mountain, take 2 damage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so you're going to move here.
Yeah.
Take 2 damage, you're down to 0.
0, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And I think that's it then, right?
Yeah.
So we discard the unused dice, and we flip these back over. Oh, yeah, damage, there's no damage. I have +2, you have 0, so no damage.
Yeah.
End of round. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is shut the camera off here. We're going to play some off camera, then we'll come back to you when the game is nearly finished. So hang in there. And we're back. So we're about, I want to say 2/3 of the way done, judging from the way Idalee's talking in Spanish. I think she may actually cross the finish line. We'll see. We just finished drafting our cards. I think she's trying to place her last one. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in my invention. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our machines are coming along. As you can see, we've got a lot of dice on them. We're doing various things. So are you still deciding on what to do? Okay, so you are going to place that. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I should.
It's up to you. You've got 6 cogs. I've got 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11 cogs. All right, so you good?
Yeah.
Okay. So, start of the race, or event. We're going to vent. I'm going to go ahead and start spending cogs to... Okay, here's 1. I'm going to bring this 6 down to a 4. I'm going to spend another to bring this 6 down to a 4. I'm going to spend 1 more to bring these each down to a 3. 3, 4 to a 3, and 4 to a 3. I'm going to spend... you know what? I think I'll be okay to just leave. I don't want to spend any more cogs than I have to. Because I'm going to spend Repair Clause. Remove all dice with 3 or fewer pips that currently occupy slots on your invention. Ignore dice on storage. You may vent dice before resolving this effect. So I'm going to go ahead and play this card. Every die with a 3 or lower, I can remove. So these go away. 3, 3, 1. Okay, so all of these, and this is the second time I've done this, so I'm relying heavily on these repair claws to help me out. Okay, so I'm done venting.
I'm still venting.
You're still venting.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Venting all my frustrations.
I know.
So pointless. Why would I do that?
You've got a lot of high numbers there. 5s and 6s.
Yeah. I do, don't I?
It's alright. You've got plenty of space, I'm sure.
Okay. So, does the race begin now? Sorry.
The race phase does begin. So
okay.
we're gonna.
So can I use my boost real quick?
Yeah.
Or actually, no. Do your turn first. Do your turn.
Well, no. We can. I'm gonna save that one, I think. Okay. So, well, it depends on how far you can go with what. I need to see how far you can go. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if you can cross the finish line based on what you have. Your only movement is that one. That's one that can be activated once. So you can move one space. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can also go around, but if you were to go the shortest route, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need to have 6 movement. So I'm just seeing if you could do it.
No.
1. This is a 3, so you would need 6. The most you can put down are 6s. So that would be 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So you'd be able to move 5 spaces at most. However, your boost card might let you move forward. These are all covered up, so there's no... That's smooth movement, which you've already used prior over here. Okay, so I think... I don't know. Do I want to use my cards or not? Like, that's 5. So you could technically... I mean, maybe you do have something that'll let you push ahead. I don't know.
Are we supposed to do this simultaneously?
Yeah, but... well, no, that's fine. Well, I'll do mine first. So I'll just do this. Let me flip this over. I get 2 yellow dice. I also get the die from my storage slot here. And I'll roll these. Alright, now... 6, 5, 1, 3. Okay, so first I'm going to do, I'm going to put the 3 here and activate this once. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I get a red die, and I get an armor. And I'm going to roll this red die. It's a 4. The 4 I'm going to put here, which gives me a cog and a yellow die. 3. Okay, so I need to move. I need to start moving. I've got 3 armor. 3 damage is going to be taken here. So I need to move first and then gain more armor because there's a 1 here. If I take the shorter route, which I may have to because you're farther ahead, I'm going to have to cut through this here. So this is going to be tight. So let me move first. I'm going to put the 6 first and move twice. So I'm going to do 1, 2. I take 3 damage from 3 to 0. Alright, so I've got a 1 coming up, 3, and a 2. So at most I need to... Oh, and another 2. So that's 4, 6... That's 8 damage that I would need to negate or let through some of it. So as long as I survive to cross the finish line. There's also this here. If you blow up after you cross the finish line, you still play out the rest of the round, so you blow up and move back behind.
Ooh.
So we still need to worry about damage and possibly blowing up here. So I moved. I need to get armor back in some way. I could get armor here. This is a 3. I'm going to spend a cog and make this 5 a 6. I'm going to put this 6 here to activate this armor twice. So I'm up to 2 now, plus 2. I will spend a cog to bring this 5 into a 6. Put the 6 here for movement twice. 1, 2. Okay.
You took 1 damage from it?
Yeah, 1 damage from passing that 1 mountain, so I'm down to 1. I will use jump jets to get rid of a blue die, which I don't need to, and do a smooth movement. But I also take 1 damage for every 5 machine parts I have. So basically I'm turning this 3 into a 1. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 machine parts. 7 divided by 5 is 1 damage. So I get to move here, smooth movement. I negate the 3, however I take 1 damage from the card effect. So I move from a +1 to a 0. So now I have 0 and this goes away.
Oh, I thought that was in effect if you discard a blue die.
No, that's you remove a blue die from your machine and you smooth move 1.
Oh, okay, I see.
So I've negated 3. Now I've got 2, 2, and 2 still to contend with. I've got a 3 and a 1. I can use the 3... I need more armor. Crap. See, I'd like to keep moving, but I have no armor left. I'm going to spend a 3 to get an armor here. So I'm going to bring this back up to 1. And I'm going to spend 2 cogs from this 3, so I'm going to get 1 and change, to turn this into a 3 and take an armor here, and that brings me up to +2. And I believe I'm out of dice. So now go ahead and resolve what you'd like to resolve.
Okay, I'm going to use my boost to get a red, blue, and yellow.
Okay.
And then I roll those. Oh yeah, and a light bulb.
Yep.
To get a yellow and a blue.
Okay.
And a cog.
All right.
Okay, so then I roll. Okay.
All right.
So, that's 2 shield here, right?
So 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 divided by 3 is 2 shield. Yep.
So that would be a 3 plus 3 and a cog, and then back down to 3.
Yes. So that would, if you had 2 to begin with.
2.
Yes. So you would move up to 3, get a cog, move back down to 3. Okay. Right. So you get another cog. And.
Could I? No, I couldn't have done that separately, right?
What do you mean?
No, never mind. I was gonna say like I can just do the 5. And then gain 1 shield, and then move, and then gain another shield after moving.
Well, no, because that 2 would be treated separately.
Oh, yeah,
you wouldn't have enough to get that.
That's right.
Not unless you spent a cog. Yeah, it's up to you, but that would be a waste.
Yeah.
Spending a cog to get a cog.
It is a waste.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm thinking. All right, with these, I'm gonna have to move. 8. So I can move twice with this one?
So what did you put down?
2 4s here.
Okay, so that's 8 divided by 3 is, 2.
6, so 2.
So you can move 2. It's 1, 2. You take 3 damage.
It's back down to 0.
Yeah.
Okay. And with this.
With your red 5 standing by.
Yeah.
You could activate it once for 1 movement, which would put you on the 2 negative. Or you can convert it into blues to do something else, but what you do with it, I don't know.
Yeah, no. Hold on.
Now
I'm thinking.
Take your time.
So if I do those, well, then I need movement though. Okay. Wait, was this already a 5? I already rolled it.
You rolled, yeah, so you have a 5. So you would get, that gives you 2 blue dice, and you can roll those. And it's 2 and a 5.
Can I use a 2 here to move and gain a yellow?
Yeah, so you would move once and gain a yellow. This brings you to the 2 spot, you lose 2 armor.
Yep, and it's -2, so I get rid of 2 cards?
Not yet, only during the damage phase.
Oh, okay.
So you have a chance to get that armor back somehow if you can. I don't know if you can.
No, I can't.
Okay.
That's okay.
All
I
right.
kind of want to lose 2 cards.
Oh, okay, alright. So you've got a 2 and a 5. Are you doing anything else?
No.
Okay. So those are going to go to waste?
Yep.
Okay. So now the damage phase. I have a +2, you have a -2. So now you have to lose 2 cards.
Yep.
If you discard cards with dice on them, they're gone as well.
Yep.
So, okay, go. So go ahead and get rid of 2 cards that you don't want.
Okay.
So as long as your contraption is still legal.
Yeah.
And everything is connected back to your pilot.
Yeah. I'm going to get rid of this one.
Okay, the one that generates the yellow?
Yeah, and... That might not be a good idea, huh? I have so many dice. How the heck do you have, like, empty cards? I don't understand this.
I only roll 4 or 5 dice a turn, roughly. You roll a lot more dice. Well, not only that, but I've used repair clause twice already.
Yeah, but I've seen, I don't know, whatever.
I've been discarding, I've been able to get rid of a lot of my cards, because I get a lot of cogs and the repair clause.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't roll as many dice as you do, from the looks of it.
Yeah. The thing is, this is a good one. probably better than this one. But, oh my gosh. I'm getting rid of this.
Okay.
And
you got rid of
penny farthing.
Penny farthing, which gives you, for blue dice, you can move and get a yellow die. This is the one that she got rid of here. So you can put blue dice on this, activate it once, no matter what the value, and move once and get a yellow die.
I got rid of that one too.
And this is a capacitor, which basically just generates whenever you use your light bulb token, you get a yellow cube, or yellow die rather. Okay, so, which technically dice are cubes, but whatever. Capacitor.
Do I want to do that? You're gonna hate me so much.
You want to go back?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Here, I'll get rid of this one instead.
Alright, so instead, she's... Edit! She's gonna get rid of... Put blue dice on this, divide by 2, get yellow dice.
Oh, God, it kills me.
Generator. Okay. It's fine. Okay, so I'm done. Are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Alright, so flip these back over. They're light bulbs.
We gotta get rid of the dice, leftover dice?
And leftover dice. 4 of each. Or 4 each, 1 for each card. This should be the last round because we're nearing the finish line.
Oh my gosh.
So these are my cards here. I got to figure out. That might be nice. Instead of using cogs to adjust dice, I could use that. That, no. That, no. Yeah, I might keep that. All right, I'm gonna keep that one. And whenever you're done, there's those.
Man. It's just the wheels, man. The wheels on the bus are not going round and round.
You mean the steam on the steampunk machine is not chugging? It's not going puff, puff, puff. I guess if your steampunk machine has wheels, I guess. Yours looks really, like, nasty. You've got it like a drill. like I'd be scared to be in front of you. Like
what does this mean? Sorry.
This is electromagnet. This is movement for each invention in front of you on the racetrack. Basically for each player. You get to move 1 space for each player in front of you on the racetrack, maximum of 5. Then invention in first place moves 1 space backward. So you're in first place already. So there's no one in front of you. So you would not be able to move forward. That's played during vent.
Yeah.
So right now you're in first. So that would not benefit you. As far as I can tell.
I'm just gonna discard it for 2 cogs.
Okay, 2 cogs. Alright, there's your cards there. Alright, so now, again, I don't really need any of these, so I'm just gonna... Which ones would I want? I'm gonna take 2 yellow dice. And again, we're supposed to play these cards face down, reveal them at the same time. But because we're playing casual, I don't care.
It's actually not too bad.
Okay.
But then again, I really need cogs.
You have a lot of venting to do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm gonna, this one would have been a good one to build just for defense purposes too. You know what, I will build it.
Okay. Okay, that is a
yellow
galvanic brakes. Yellow dice turn into red cubes and an armor.
If it's 3, if it's divisible.
Divisible by 3, yeah.
Oh, you have the same thing.
Okay, do I want more yellow dice or do I want cogs? I've got 4 cogs. What am I going to do with all these cogs? I would like yellow dice, but I also need ways to adjust them. You know, I'm gonna take more yellow dice, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and play that. Take 2 yellow dice.
I'm gonna take 2 cogs.
Okay. Alright. And with this one, I'm going to take 2 cogs.
Yep. These are also discarded.
Okay. You're going to discard... Okay. These were from before.
Yeah. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Alright. So now we're venting.
Yep.
I will... Okay, so I'm going to use 1, bring this down to 4. Use another 1, bring this down to 4. I'm going to use 1, bring this down to a 3, and 3. I'm going to get change. I'm going to take a cog and do 3, 1 to a 3, and this 4 to a 3. And how many? I'm going to get 1 from that. I'm going to get, I have 3 more possible. Okay, so all I need is 4. So I think I'd be okay at this point to save these for dice rolls. Okay. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done venting. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not done venting. I'm going to use my 3rd repair clause of the game.
Wow.
To remove all dice with 3 or fewer pips. These are gone. This is the whole reason why I brought them down to 3 and not any lower. There we go. Love my repair clause.
Seriously. I underestimated those. I didn't understand what they meant, and so I just like...
Did you do your venting, or are you still thinking?
I'm still doing my venting. I hate this. I'll keep 1, I guess.
You're going to keep 1. Okay, so you vented 3 times already? Okay. Okay, so we're done venting. You've got 1 cog left, I've got 2 cogs left. Now we're racing. I'm going to flip this over for 2 yellow dice, and you're going to flip yours over, I'm guessing, for
a blue and a yellow. And a cog.
Okay, blue, yellow cog, yeah. So you get a blue and a clog from this, and a yellow from that. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, so you're ahead of me, so this could work well for you. I'm going to go ahead and roll these.
I need armor first before I can even move.
I just have to hope for some high rolling here. Okay, so first off, I'm going to spend, energy, Apogee Manipulator. Get a yellow die.
Wow.
Also change up to 2 dice in your dice pool to any pip value.
Wow.
1, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to change this 1 into a 6, and I'm going to change this 2 into a 6.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Okay. And... Alright, so first of all, the 6s... Well, let me resolve this in the right order, because if I don't, I'm going to take some serious damage. First is 6 here to move twice. So that's 1, 2. I take 2 damage, I'm down to 0. And I'm going to take... Okay, so there's 2 damage coming up here. So let's put a 6 here. Divide by 3, that's 2 armor.
Wow, I think you won this.
No. I'm going to do another 6 to move twice. 1, 2. Well, no. Whoever's the farthest will win.
Oh.
So I go down to -2. And now I need to get that back up I mean, I don't have to, but I'd lose stuff if I didn't during the damage phase.
But it doesn't matter because even if you moved your 3s there or your 5s, you can still move even more.
I could.
And it doesn't matter if you damage.
Well, I could lose like this and this. Like I could lose parts. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
So I could just try and move as far as possible. I'll lose some cards, but so I'm gonna spend this cog to move this 5 into a 6. Move 2 more times. 1, 2. I've got 3s. Switching a 3 to a 4 is not gonna matter. So I'm going to put a 3 here and a 3 here. That's 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. I'm going to take 2 movement. 1, 2. And this 3 here lets me move 1 more time here. Okay, and I'm done.
Wow, you won this.
I flew across the flint.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, well those 6s helped. But go ahead and you...
You could even like use that cog to move that 3 up to 4 and still move even farther.
Is it all you got? Was 2 dice to roll?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
So, do this. I gain 1 armor.
1 armor, okay.
-1 and 1 red die.
Wait, no, you reset to 0. Did you take 2 damage from the last turn?
I did.
So you reset to 0.
Oh!
So you have +1, not -1.
Oh, okay.
You had -2. You took 2 cards away.
Yeah.
You were supposed to reset to 0.
I see. I didn't know that.
That's fine.
Okay. And 6. Of course. It's a terrible number.
It doesn't matter. So you get two more dice, so 2 blue.
And then I roll.
Okay.
I don't think I rolled.
That's fine.
That one.
It's
Sorry.
Fine. I don't care.
I don't think I did.
3, 4, 5.
Can I shoot. Alright, I'll use my, in a desperate attempt, I will use 2 cogs to
make a 6.
Make a 6.
Okay.
Can I smooth move?
I'm going to smooth move twice.
Twice. And I still didn't even cross the finish line. No.
So you don't take any damage. You have a 3.
For nothing.
That doesn't do anything for you?
No.
Okay. Alright, so damage phase. I lose 2 cards. 1, 2. I still have this contraption. So these both go here.
And then we get bonus points for, you know, how many...
Yes, that's exactly how that works.
How many tiles we have.
Alright, so... I'm not going to say I won, but...
You beat me so bad.
You were ahead the entire game, but then I put it into overdrive.
You know what it is? You built much better. You strategized your dice much better. And I hit hard without knowing what I was doing. Yeah. And it got me good up until a point. And then when the damage started coming in, I was like, oh, I didn't build up enough armor. Yeah, well... You diversified a bit more. My primary focus was using repair claws. Yeah. Do as much as I could, like use armor, and I used armor and movement equally throughout. Mm-hmm. I made sure I had a positive armor all the way up to a certain point. And then I used my repair claws so that I wouldn't have to spend so many cogs venting. Yeah, then I could spend my cogs to adjust my dice to higher values for the end of the game, so I could get a lot of movement by the end. So that was my strategy. But yours was a little different. I wish we could have played without the repair clause just to see what you would have done. I would have to spend more cogs to undo vent. Yeah. Like that's a lot of vent. There was a lot of venting I would have had to have done if I didn't have a repair clause. I wouldn't have any cogs. I wouldn't have as many cogs, put it that way, or not enough cogs to vent everything. I think those repair I would probably be back here somewhere had I not been able to use the repair clause, or maybe even back here, because I relied on those repair claws to get those empty spaces. Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, it was. I couldn't. You just like wiped off your stuff. Because I got stuck like so many times. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough cogs to. I rolled like really high numbers, and I'm just like. That's kind of bad too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. So would you play this game again? Oh yes, absolutely. I liked it. I can't believe I haven't played. Like I had this for a year, never played it, and this is our first time playing, and now like I love it. This is a great game. I love engine building to begin with, and I guess I didn't play it originally because I was a little overwhelmed by a lot of these cards and what they did, but it wasn't actually that bad. The only nitpicking are some of like the rules explanations. Like
yeah,
and stuff.
the rule books. I had to look online 3 times, I think, total for various explanations. Mm-hmm. So an FAQ section at the end of the rule book would have been good.
Yeah, and I wish like there was a little bit more variety within the cards.
Yeah, there's a bunch that we didn't get to yet.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I don't know what's left. Mm-hmm. Or how many duplicates there are of the same card. Mm-hmm. Like that, I don't know. Like, there seems to be a lot of these rocket boosters. There's more penny farthings, rocket boosters, ion thrusters. I haven't seen those. Arachno legs, which I have. So yeah, it does seem like there's wings. Mm-hmm. It seems like there are duplicates here. A lot of duplicates. Aristocrat. Drive wheel, ion thrusters, arachno. Yeah, there's more rocket boosters. Yeah, there's a lot of duplicates of the same cards. Mm. But I bet you that's for balance. The more variety you add, the more unbalanced the game might be. Mm. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I like it personally.
Yeah, it was a great game.
I love the art. I love the. I mean, I'm not big on steampunk, but it's well done here.
I love steampunk.
You love steampunk. I think this was all. I'd play this again. Not now, but I'd play it again.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, there you go, folks. That was Steampunk Rally. If you want to buy a copy for yourself, I'll put a link in the below description for you. Just Amazon is all it is. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free 2-day shipping, so check that out. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince and Ida Lee. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Bye, guys.